Welcome back, guys. This is Maverick here with episode 9 of Darwin's Game. So, following the events of last episode, Konami has won the big event, and I think in universe time, he spent a few months basically, well, he and his gang, I guess you could say, his clan, let's call it that, his clan, have basically used the time to rest up, get trained, etc., get well supplied, and now they are ready to get back into the action. Now, I do believe that they are on the verge of actually forming this clan, and then also having some clan alliances. And then, of course, we also see Konami is going to get into his first big duel. And that's probably also important because it'll allow us to understand or know about what kind of special ability or special privilege he actually got from the Game Master from the last episode. Now, I do have a few different guesses as to what that might be. I think I threw out about 3 different kind of guesses in the last episode. Maybe it's a privilege where he can, he can decide, okay, in this duel, can we both use our sigils, or maybe we both can't use our sigils, or is it maybe something where he just basically has a privilege of knowing what the other player's sigil is so that he can better counteract it, right? And of course, there's also some other various things as well, but since I do believe that it's going to be in an interest of not being too OP, right? It's in the interest of the game to not have an overpowered character just going around and murdering everybody. So it's probably going to be more of a, I guess, supplemental use, or more for, it's a nice to have, right? It's not like 100% necessary. But it'll be interesting to see him use it. Or, of course, he could actually also save it as his trump card with his showdown with Wong eventually. Now, I suppose that's probably going to be the end of this first season, which is him maybe soundly defeating Wong and his clan. And yeah, I think that's basically what we can look forward to in the next few episodes. So, let's get into it and find out. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Alright. Hopefully from this point onwards, we're actually getting into the meat of the story, right? They're actually forming a clan and whatnot. The right to hold for profit, yeah. Oh, so that's this guy, right? So he was mentioned by the Game Master in the last episode. Valetudo. Valetudo. Set up for the... Okay. Yeah, at least he's taking his fighting much more seriously now. That's a good thing, right? I'm still really curious what his privilege is and whether or not he's actually going to use it. By the way, I think we don't even know what that other guy's sigil is. Huh. Bum, 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 bum. Her arm is still, I guess, 2 months. What the? What kind of fight is this? Like, if he just throws a grenade right then and there while he's holding down with suppressing fire, wouldn't that just be game over? Fourth ranked player. How many bullets does that submachine gun have? Come on! That is ridiculous! Oh, so there we go. It's a dud. No, that was a flashbang. What the? Only in the head? Hmm. Chinese? Hmm. Ooh. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, so you also want to take him as husband as well? She's like the natural enemy to oh, in a Humvee? He's already formed a clan. Sunset Ravens. It's a Humvee girl. Clan battle. Good question. Then now is probably not the time, girl. Bulletproof tires. Like I said, a natural enemy. Ooh, doesn't work on her. Now this is a battle. Nice. Oh. Ooh. Run. Yeah, a win's a win. What? What the? Like I said, natural enemy. What in the world? Alright. I mean, sure, I guess. I think there's a little bit more after the ending. So, I'll see if that's the case. If not, I'll see you guys after this. And yes, indeed, there's a little bit more after the ending. So let's watch this in 3, 2, 1, play. Ooh. Holy shit. Damn, they really cut all his fingers off. What in the world? Damn. Alrighty, that was a rather gruesome ending that we saw over there. I feel bad for the guy. He's definitely at the wrong place at the wrong time. And I am really curious how Konami is actually going to react to this entire situation. Because up till now, he hasn't had any personal vendetta with any of the people here, right? Sure, was it Bandai? I think it's Bandai, right? The very first enemy that he encountered. Yeah, he was basically the cause of his friend's death, but in the end, he was also killed, although not intentionally by Konami, right? And so now we are in 9 episodes in. We are in the first situation where he has full control of the situation, and he's seen his enemy, willingly hurt one of his friends, right? So I'd like to see how Konami is actually going to react to this entire situation. Whether or not he's still going to be continuing to preach his no killing, no violence kind of spiel, right? So we'll see about that. Beyond that, though, I actually quite enjoyed this episode, at least in terms of its fighting scenes. It was actually really good. I was very surprised by the by the, what was it again? The Sunset Ravens clan, how they worked together to take down Louis Xuelan, Liu Xuelan, I think it was her name. Yeah, that was a pretty good sequence of events. That was some pretty good action scenes. It was actually much higher quality than I was expecting. So good on them, right? That was actually really cool. And it was nicely coordinated as well, right? I like the way that it was done throughout. Not too many, not too much bullshit or inconsistencies or illogical stuff. You have a Humvee and a limo driving down. It's hard to actually pick up any sort of speed in that. I mean, at least compared with a normal car, right? So that was, I like that they represented that as well. They weren't going like ludicrously fast and faster than all the other all the cars on the road or whatnot. And overall, it was just a nice little episode, at least in terms of the fighting. Now, granted, I will say, it really does feel like we've left out a lot of material in between. I don't quite know if that's the way that the author just decided to write it, the story, the plot line within the light novel. It's sort of like a after the fact, kind of explaining things after things have already happened, that kind of stuff. It definitely feels to me like there's a lot of auxiliary information that we haven't actually seen yet, including like why all of a sudden do all these different top players within the D game want to band together, and so on and so forth, right? And if they do all band together into this competition, who was going to be able to challenge them? Right? If the top 10 players of this game all decide to come together and form a team or whatnot, well, they basically just continue to have their way at the top, right? So, but that actually gets into a lot of different kind of politics as well, which again reminds me of the time when I was actually playing games similar to this, where you once you get to the top, you do have to have a lot of I would even say political acumen in order to really make sense of all the different various factions and the sort of give and take of all these situations. And generally speaking, from my experience anyways, the people at the top normally aren't that well skilled at this. They would normally all have a sort of clan leader, guild leader, or someone else to keep them in check, and so on and so forth. So, I don't know. I'm interested to see how they actually continue to do this. Kaname, his personal morals aside, I do like that he's not too much of a wimp in these situations, right? I feel like what the lady was saying about him was actually kind of correct. He does sort of thrive in these situations, and he doesn't shy away from them. So that was nice to see as well. Now, throughout this entire series, my biggest problem has always been the sort of illogical stuff I feel that happens in terms of the decisions that the characters make, and that's basically it, right? I mean, I don't really have any problem with all the other cool stuff that potentially they could touch upon. And speaking of which, we actually did not get to see Kaname's secret weapon. So, like I said, that is probably going to be reserved for Wong, and cause a nasty to surprise him by the end of this season. And so yeah, that's basically it for this episode. And well, I will see you guys next week as well. Until then, bye bye.